Everybody, welcome back. Welcome. It has been a ride. All right, enough with the applause, Steve. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust.
Quick it can be cut, right?
From the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. Yeah, you know what? How cool is that? That it's the Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from a cannabis company and a rock and roll radio station in the heart of the Grozarks.
It's a dream, brother.
I'm saying, man, like, stop the press, baby. We got the headlines all day long. What's up, Justin? How you doing?
Not much, man. I'm just noticing you guys are all color coordinated today.
Did we get him this time?
Uh-oh.
He's muted himself.
He's doing that thing like the movies where he just...
How about now?
Like that, he's moving his mouth. Oh, we really don't have Justin. Try it.
How about now?
Now we got Justin. All right.
All right, well... I was just admiring the fact you guys are so color coordinated. What is it, like Easter or something? Or
it is not. It is Yellow Day. I don't know. What do you got going on, Steve? Sour Diesel shirt. Tim is golfing currently with his Robust hat, and I do rock the tie dye all the time. All right, and everybody, let me. I know we got some new listeners listening in because we always do. Let me introduce you to my team. We got Steve Wheeler at the controls. That's K-Kid Radio. We got Justin Trowbridge in New Mexico. That's Route 66 producing our digital side on Facebook Interactive page, as well as our YouTube and probably a couple other spots that he doesn't keep me informed on. And we always got my co-host with the most, Tim Harms, in the hot seat over there. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, man. Good to be back.
Awesome stuff. All right, so we've got a great show planned out for you guys. I've got some friends of mine on the show today. That's Ethan Thampy. He's a friend of ours out there when it comes to psychedelic research and pushing the envelope in the Capitol buildings and the political side of everything when it comes to psychedelics and helping veterans and things like that. So we're going to talk about a psychedelic that they've discovered that is stopping your opioid receptors and being able to get somebody cold turkey next day off of opioids. So to me, that there couldn't be a more important conversation. So we're going to have that one. I've also got our friend Tony Billmeyer from Blue Sage Cannabis Company. That's also Missouri's own edibles. That's Vivid, the team behind some of the best extracts on the planet, as well as Buoyant Bob, their value brand out there, who I'm just a huge fan of. You know, I love it when you go buy a value brand, and they, you know, that's kind of the deal out there. The value brands, they're the deals on the shelf, right? And when you open them up, there's just so much goodness inside, and you're like, you know, when it comes to value, I get it on the price, but man, it's just the products that they're putting out for the affordable patient. Like they got some good stuff going on. So,
and the branding that they're doing here in the state of Missouri is absolutely off the charts.
You know, and no offense, some of those companies, they bring in out-of-state companies to help with branding and all that in their launches and everything, but not Vivid, man. They rolled out with all Missouri, homegrown, highlighting all kinds of cool Missouri products. Like they do the Red Hot Riplets potato chip out there. Which
remember when they brought them in studio?
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah, I put it on a bologna sandwich. Like they're fire. And then they've got the medicated coffee pods in the dispensaries, and they just have all kinds of cool stuff that are real Missouri orientated. Like the coffee pods, they teamed up with the Coffee Ethic in Springfield, Missouri, a really cool, you know, hometown coffee shop there. So, and I love that coffee spot. If you haven't been in Springfield and gone to the Coffee Ethic, you need to stop there because it is fire for real.
But don't you think that's what kind of sets that group of people apart, is how much they do in Missouri, for Missouri, with Missouri?
I think that's the plan with those guys. That's what they are, man. They're rooted here deep, you know, and you like to see that. You know, I like to see everybody just doing really well, but man, I love it when those real hometown players make ace plays like that. All right, so before we get into the show and go to a break and head back to Tony Billmeyer will be on when I come back from break, let's talk about a couple things. Tim, I printed out all of your content for the show today. You're gonna look for the one called New Mex Flex. All right, New Mex Flex. Justin, we're gonna talk a little bit about what's happening in New Mexico, where Justin's at with Route 66, because some of the numbers down there kind of blew my mind a little bit. We know they sold a lot of cannabis this year, but what I didn't know is how many businesses they have. It says New Mexico just passed their 1-year anniversary of legalizing recreational adult use marijuana. Now, Justin, did you bake a cake or anything for that event?
No, I was baked myself.
Okay, good. That's perfect. Okay, that's why he's on the show. The news the news releases were bursting with excitement down there, is what I'm seeing. The government and business leaders, they're all celebrating and saying the industry's off to a great start, which is pretty cool, man. Their first year out there. I like when the government is also as excited as the industry is, because at that point, taxes are coming in, it's helping things. It's, we're making a little bit of change, and New Mexico seems to be doing that the right way.
Isn't tourism a big part of that down there?
That's pretty much all we've got.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, what's this market going to be like this summer during tourism at the lake?
Oh, dude, we'll get into that. Yeah.
I mean, every time I think about that, it's like Latitude. How can you not be right in the middle of that?
Right.
They just Leafly. I gotta print this out on break, but Leafly just released and this is off topic, but the best dispensaries in Missouri, and at in the top 5 was Latitude. So real proud of those guys. Out of 200, awesome. So what is it? 216 dispensaries we have now. A couple of our sponsors were on there, so I'm real proud of them.
Nice.
Yeah, real good stuff, man. When you've got that kind of team, and we know those guys over at Latitude, you're gonna do good things for the patient. But all good stuff. I remember when Latitude was we were in that little room building, and they're like, yeah, there's gonna be a drive-through over here, and we're like, how? Like, how are you gonna do all that? And like, they did, and it's crushing. But all right, New Mexico. So in 1 year, it said New Mexico had 300 million in adult use cannabis sales. It doesn't say what your medical sales are, so maybe it's both. I don't know there. But 300 million in at least your adult use cannabis sales in New Mexico. The state issued around 2,000 cannabis licenses. Now that's wild for us Missourians when I start to think about these numbers. I just told you we had 216 dispensaries here in Missouri. I think it's at 216. It might be 217, something like that. Justin, how many dispensaries do you think you have in New Mexico compared to our 216?
I think I've got 200 in Santa Fe alone.
Yeah, there's 633 total.
Wow,
that's a lot of dispos, man. I don't know what the population in New Mexico is, and Justin, you might be able to tell me comparatively to Missouri. But gosh, that is a lot of dispensaries for any population. 633. Now, I do like the amount of cultivations that they have to dispensary ratio. I don't know why, but these numbers sound like they make kind of sense to me. So you got 633 retailers. They've got 351 producers.
Wow.
Yeah.
351.
Yeah, but check this out. They also have 415 micro producers. I don't know what that is, but that sounds
like what we're getting ready to launch.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know, but that's over. Yeah. That's what's that, Justin?
Yeah, they're kind of our equivalent to the micro businesses that you guys have.
Got you. Was it kind of the same thing, kind of a social equity play?
I forget what exact criteria they were, but I know that there have been a lot of people that have benefited from that program, and they're really enjoying using that access to cannabis to change the culture and change different communities and stuff with it. So,
and I want my listeners out there to know that one of the reasons that, and Justin probably doesn't tell a lot of people this, but we are now. Justin actually had a great footprint he was going to have in the New Mexico market, and was unable to enter that market because of this show right here. They told him he's not allowed to have a cannabis business there because technically, according to New Mexico, this is a cannabis business because of the things that we do with cannabis companies. So big shout out to Route 66 for first off believing in this show, and second for having to deal with that kind of nonsense too.
I can't believe his mom and dad still let him do it.
Yeah. so
they haven't been in the backyard to see what's growing this spring either. So we'll see what happens.
Good call. So that's about when you look at the micro producers, you got about 780 different 780 producers out there. And then they've got 507 manufacturers. That's the folks doing your edibles, concentrates, things like that. So that is a lot, man. 2,000 business licenses down there. And I did notice, Justin, and we cover the good stuff and the bad stuff, right, with the industries. I did see a site where a lot of New Mexico licenses were going up for sale because of the saturation. So it'll be interesting to see with an open market like New Mexico has where that ends up, because we don't think it's going to end up like Oklahoma, right? Because it can't, right? Like Oklahoma has water rights. You guys don't. The weather is just a totally different ball game there. So it's not like even with open licensing, people are running to the desert to grow weed. So it's to me, it's like
It's a bad place to grow weed too, Waxy. There's not a lot that grows out in the desert.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why it very much interests me that how that I like to watch the states as they meld up, as they leave medical to go to rec, and then what that looks like a few years later, because they either screwed it up real bad or they didn't most of the time. Well, New Mexico, and we're pretty tight with it. We got a lot of friends down there and everything. It just doesn't seem like it has that failure ratio like some of the other states has, but it also feels like it could enter that atmosphere if they didn't have maybe some changes, or maybe it's some of these folks didn't need to have these licenses because they weren't set up properly because of those things we're talking about. I don't know. What do you think, Justin?
It's a combination of, so water is huge. At the beginning of last year, we had the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak fire that burned like 300 or 750,000, 100,000 acres, some ridiculous thing, like half the state of Delaware was on fire down here.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about setting up a grow operation, all of a sudden it's like, do you have water? And they're like, no. And then they go, well, you're done. I mean, it's just instant disqualification. So
yeah, it's like having a weed. It's like opening a weed farm without weed. You can't do that. It doesn't work.
No. And then, we've got a third the population of Missouri. I just pulled it up. We've got 2.1 million people in the state. You guys are about 6.3. So, for us to do 300 million, thank you, Texas.
Right. I wonder too, and we got to go.
Now wait, we did 300 million in the first 3 months.
Well, no, we're crushing them in sales, but obviously our population is a lot different, and they're seeing a little different. Yeah,
six. Yeah,
plus we also are serving 50 states and more like they are. So it's a wild atmosphere. Period. I guess we need to go to break because when we get back, we've got Tony Billmeyer from the Vivid team, Blue Sage Cannabis Company. Some of our favorite sponsors out there are doing some really cool things. We're going to talk about patient cards and why it's kind of important to some people to still keep those, and what that looks like and how those guys are helping to get those cards still out there. So when we get back, we're going to talk to Tony. You guys, it's been a great first part of the show. Make sure you stick around. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9.
Chess is the perfect metaphor for business. You have to consider every angle before you move. You and your opponent have the same rules to follow. Not now, Michelle. I'm recording this ad right now. No, I didn't pick up that cheese you like. Well, I didn't see it when I was at the store. What is that in your hand? Oh, this is that fire concentrate we got the other day? Hell yes, I'll do a dab with you. Why didn't you just say that? Oh, this is still recording. Check out the creative minds at Route 66 Labs. Obama. Out!
I'm so freaking tired this morning. Isn't saying something is indescribable just describing it? If a pregnant woman goes swimming, is she a submarine? What if two bots match on Tinder? Do they ever give up? Do fish get seasick in storms? Why is abbreviated such a long word? If a kid refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest? Pizza is a circle, cut into triangles, and delivered in a square. Wax Off is the greatest dab cleaner ever. Kinda slippery. Huh? Not again! Thanks for waking me up, Lil Waxy.
we have a prime example of a macaque. His name is Marcus. This particular macaque is bored. He's tired of the same old concert experience. Us too, little buddy. Well, you're in luck, Marcus. Introducing Captain Crossfade, a blend of THCV and CBC. This drink is the life of the party. Energy and focus, as well as an, enhanced experience with other consumables. Marcus is now ready to party all night long. Look at him go. Brought to you by Waxy Brown.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
People always ask me, how do you do it? What's your secret? How long did it take? What kind of dedication do you have? How do you do it every day? Well, the truth is, I'm high as shit most of the time, and I wax off a lot. I mean a lot.
Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. Man, what a cool show it's been. If you're on the FM dial, that was some David Bowie, Heart's Filthy Lesson. What a great tune that is, man. Back in the mid-90s, Bowie was really doing his thing with the crunchy stuff, so I dig it. All right, I'd like to welcome to the show a friend of ours, often on the show. We really appreciate it. Tony Billmeyer from the Vivid, Blue Sage, Buoyant Bob, Missouri's own edibles team. What's up, buddy? How are you today, man? We got him muted. Hold on,
how's it going, guys?
Good, we got it, man. We can hear you loud and clear. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Awesome stuff. So first off, I want to give a great big shout out to Tony, man. I the other day I was heading up to the dispensary because I wanted to grab some good stuff, and I know who to call whenever I need to know what's really good on the shelf. So I picked up those Vivid the liquid diamonds you guys have, the carts. Oh my gosh, I got a Lost Cause. Have you tried that one, Tony? I'm sure
it's nice little daytime kind of sativa feeling. It's great. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and the flavor. So I'm telling you, like, if you guys, I'm not normally run to the cartridges thing, right? But that's because I got, man, listen,
because you can't get a blunt out of your hand.
Because before we had quality like this, before we had stuff like that, like cartridges were around, and they were either like some street carts or some stuff from Oklahoma, or your buddy had this, and like I got turned off pretty big by the whole scene. Like it just wasn't anything that turned me on. But now you go to the dispensaries and you can pick up some extremely high quality cartridges out there, and that's definitely way high on the list. So I appreciate the the recommendation, Tony.
Yeah, happy to. Yeah, usually I like to do my discovery with flower. So, and I'm the same with you. I'm not usually a big cart guy, but it's nice when you can kind of find the strain and then go through the concentrates and the carts and all that too. It's great.
Yeah, because you can't smoke in public in Missouri, obviously. But if I was at a park the other day and I didn't want to be loud about my cannabis, it was a great experience. So appreciate that.
Or if you were in the parking lot today,
right? Or whenever, yeah, or all the time, yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about this. So Tony, you work for one of the most exciting teams out there in Missouri, who's always highlighting great Missouri companies and great projects and all this. I'd love to go into what you guys have going on up here at Blue Sage, your dispensaries, because Tony called me. I like to get a hold of our sponsors before the show sometimes and say, hey, what do you guys got going on? Anything we want to talk about? And he said, I want to talk about something that's kind of important to us, and that's medical cards. So Tony, kind of take the wheel here, and let's talk about that a little bit, because Missouri's in a very adult use recreational market. And why is it important for us to be having this conversation? Because you had some extremely great points for us.
Yeah, thanks, Waxy. And this was all something that was born out of, kind of an insight we had on the team the other day that, like, isn't it interesting that the market moves from medical to recreational, but, conversely, the way we use cannabis a lot of times starts recreationally and moves to a medicinal place, because as soon as you start using it, you understand all these medicinal properties it has and uses for it. So, it's almost like you have to be an expert to understand the medicinal aspect of it. And so, as the market moves to a recreational place here in Missouri, it's been sort of the status quo to kind of forget about the medical cards and all of that. And we had a few patients asking, how can we get our cards? And as we were having this conversation, it's like, we should be going crazy with patient drives right now. Patient drives should be an opportunity to further the education with a new recreational user, but it's also to make sure that the people who are using it for medicinal purposes have access to all of the benefits that the card offers you.
Yeah, and let me jump in for just a second and explain kind of the reasons why we over here, a lot of my team, we talk about this very subject a lot, and there are a lot of really good reasons to keep your medical card. And one of the biggest out there is simply because we use the Western medicine lanes for everything else. And if we have that card and we're talking about that inside hospitals, to our nurses, to our dentists, things like that, one, it makes it safer for us as cannabis users. And number two, it helps to normalize within those areas. I also think that that's really, really important for veterans. Veterans, I think, need to keep their cards. I'm not ever telling any veteran what to do, because we don't like that. But if you can, keep your card, because that's what the VA currently is doing. Is a veteran's using cannabis and goes in there, they're annotating, they're writing all that down. They're putting all that data into our records. They're making sure that that's a conversation that we're having now, because the next conversation is the VA paying for veterans' medicines, their allotted monthly amounts, instead of $10,000 in opioids and pills. Another reason, and Tony, I thanks for giving me this platform. I'll be right back to you. But I also think that when it comes to the taxes spent, I do like the way that all of our tax lanes happened with recreational as well as medical. But I do enjoy the medical tax lane a lot more. One, it's cheaper for the patient, of course. And number two, it brings that full tax money back home to the veterans. And I'm a little bit biased there. So, Tony, I appreciate that, giving me that voice there for a second. But let's go ahead.
No, that's all exactly what is important to us as well. It's always better when those tax dollars are earmarked for specific things like veterans. And I know a lot of the additional local municipality taxes were more general funds, not earmarked for specific uses. So I'm 100% with you. We would definitely prefer to be able to have a say in where those dollars are going.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you guys are being a part of building the bridge between Eastern and Western medicine?
I think that cannabis is doing that. I don't want to say that we are driving this, but anytime you can build the educational infrastructure around it. And so we're doing some things on the Vivid side to better educate. And, there's all kinds of great educational resources out there. And especially being created here in Missouri right now. But one of the things that we think we can have a particular impact on is what we call like really applicable practical knowledge of, you know, these questions that people just have as they start to go from novice to, you know, somewhat experienced to connoisseur. There are everything from like, how do I continue to eat healthy now that I consume cannabis, to, you know, what is gonna give me the right effect, because, you know, I certainly can't handle being, you know, too overly THC high during the day. So, you know, how do I balance that and, you know, make sure that my day flow is correct, you know, when I'm using cannabis and things like that. So really trying to make the educational material usable and practical in everyday lives is our goal, and something we're focused on for this year. It's really hard because, you know, inevitably you get to a point where you have to say, this is our experience, and, you know, this is not a fact, but hopefully our experience can help you. So not necessarily trying to divulge scientific information as much as, you know, connoisseurs helping, you know, novices up the ladder.
Right on. So the medical
Getting that tolerance level a little higher for him. So
yeah, that's
and that does help.
Steve's all about it. Hey, so you guys, I love that you guys are taking the medical conversation into play, because honestly, I felt kind of guilty lately because I don't have my card right now, and I really feel like I need to, because I'm being a veteran. I want to be able to have that conversation with the VA and more, but also I've been going to the dispo a lot more, and I sure would like to save an extra 2% in taxes while I'm there.
The bottom line is, though, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a veteran.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So you guys are going to bring the conversation home with the medical cards. How are you guys going to do that?
So we have a great partner in Elevate that is going to be coming to
guys.
Blue Sage. Will be in Lebanon Friday, June 9th, and in Carthage Friday, June 30th. And yes, so that's one component. The other component that we're going to sort of do a road show and have something coming out, communication coming out to our dispensary partners for, is a vivid educational initiative that is more of this practical knowledge that we're talking about.
How would that be through digital assets, or how?
So we're hoping to do these, you know, smaller but in person. So you know,
cool.
At dispensaries, at coffee shops, comfortable community gathering places is the idea.
Love that. And if we could set something up down there in this area, I'd love to help you guys do that.
And shout out to the folks at the Coffee Ethic. I know they've hosted one of these in partnership with the Farmer's Wife and did a really great job that we sent some folks from our manufacturing facility to talk to folks about. And you know, this is really just kind of picking up the ball and pushing that forward.
Very, very, very cool. So I know you guys have those events. Do you guys have any other events that you guys have going on at the dispos, or is that what's coming up next?
So that's the big stuff at the dispos. We also just announced this past week that we are opening a micro business incubator, Waxy, which I know
very cool.
Your interest in, and it's different from what Waxy U and Amendment 2 are providing, which I think is a different and much needed gap as well.
What do you guys got going on?
So we're calling it an incubator because we're really trying to model it like, you know, a tech incubator would, with being able to provide bespoke support to whichever group and whatever type of support that group needs. So some folks might need operational help. Well, we have really good manufacturing knowledge. We have really good cultivation knowledge, and we'd be happy to share that with you. You know, some folks may need help with the marketing and the branding, and even, you know, potentially running with existing brands. Those are things that I can, you know, potentially help with. And so we feel like we've gained a lot of knowledge over the last 4 years, and we want to see this micro business program succeed, because as it's set up, it really is, you know, whatever you make of it. And so the folks that are going to be equipped to take these licenses and run with them are the only way for this program to be a success. And so we want to build that bridge for whomever is, you know, stepping in line to take on these licenses, because we know there's both challenges in the application process as well as, you know, getting up and running right after that if you do get awarded one. So on both sides of that fence, Show Me Organics is hoping to be there, you know, whether it's cultivation, manufacturing, or retail, hoping to be there and support whomever, you know, is looking for help.
Do you guys know a cooler crew out there to do it?
Well, I mean, think about the knowledge that they've already got it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what a blessing to be able to go to those guys and say, "Hey,
Right.
I need help at this," right?
Right. Yeah. And the micro license atmosphere is going to be ecosphere is going to be pretty different. You're going to see help come from MSOs from all over the place to help these folks that get these 51% of these licenses. It's going to be pretty wild to see who comes in and who doesn't. But what I love is the fact that this is a company. And Tony, I'm gonna pretend you're not there for a second. This is a company that since their very fruition has been there. I mean, they signed on to be our sponsors day one of this show. I mean, they were there. We were Missouri homegrown. They jumped right to us. That's how it's been since day one with the Vivid team, with Show Me Organics. They highlight this state by being here, just by operating at a higher level, no pun intended. With that, you talk about Show Me Organics. It's a show me state. They're really showing the rest of the world, and they're winning awards outside of Missouri with our Missouri products. Like, it's really cool to be part of your guys' team, and thank you guys so much for supporting the show the way you do too.
Thank you, Waxy. That's very kind. It's an opportunity that Missouri, by being on this sort of 2.0 wave of legalization, has a chance to lead the full industry because of how the states on the forefront really kind of fumbled with overregulation, overtaxation, you name it.
Or the opposite.
We're grateful to MoCan. We're grateful, we're really fortunate for our place, and we understand that, and are really trying to make Missouri proud. And I think this micro business whole system and ecosystem has an opportunity to push the Missouri industry forward again, right? It has a chance to make us all better, to innovate, on smaller craft scales, and we want to help. That's very exciting as well. That's just as exciting as what we're already working on. So
and we'll talk about in the future. We'll talk about some other conversations like interstate commerce, intrastate commerce, things like that, and some of these brands. Because right now Missouri is not set up to do interstate commerce with our laws and what we've got going on. But however, the federal government will make its own decisions, and we'll see how things end up. There's a thing here where I would love to see some folks that deserve it, some disabled veterans, some folks who've been incarcerated for cannabis. I'd love to see some of these success stories like you see out there now, but bigger than that. Like that you build a brand in Missouri and it does great things for, say, veterans or social equity lanes, does great things. Well, that could work in all 50 states, and with interstate commerce going to be a very tackleable object here in the United States of America because of our Constitution. I think it's going to be really cool, and I think we're going to have a big variety of success stories that are going to come from this state from these licenses.
So, Tony, from a branding perspective, which is something you're obviously very talented with, where do you see it going in that micro licensing field?
Yeah, so I think there's all kinds of different ways to slice this, right? So if you just start with retail, it's going to be tough at first for the retails to compete with the big shops. So it's not necessarily going on, what we call like dealership row, where all the car dealerships are right next to each other and the traffic generates more traffic, right?
Right.
It's not going to be that. I think the micro businesses are going to be forced to find niche locations and serve specific businesses. So whether that's focusing on veterans in a specific location, or a lake community that is far away from any other dispensary, I think there's going to be really interesting ways to watch, where those micro businesses fall on the retail side. Then from a brand perspective,
that's interesting.
I think there's a lot of ways to that the brand and manufacturing and cultivation side can push us forward, specifically by trying to figure out some of these programs that are a little bit more direct to consumer, whether it's, a brand that's built to serve veterans or a brand that's built to serve a specific community. I think you're going to be able, because of less layers and less, financial obligation, you're going to be able to be a little bit more nimble and innovative. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity to come out with brands that exist in those markets that, in the micro business market, that whatever you want to call the existing market, would be jealous of and want to license. So, I think that if done well, just like, Missouri's own has helped us kind of punch above our weight by hyper focusing on the local, I think there's a way to do that at the micro business level too.
It's all about, are you purpose driven? Do you want to open a 7-Eleven or are you purpose driven?
And 7-Eleven could say that their purpose is to be open to buy weed at 12, at midnight and 1 a.m. So like they're your purpose doesn't have to be noble necessarily, as long as it's solving a big problem.
I'm going to open a 7-10 right next to him.
Yeah, and I think
24/7.
That way you cover all demographics.
I do think the cool thing about this will be that some of these communities in Missouri that have been very cannabis friendly and cannabis forward, hopefully they get some shine here as well. I don't know much about it, but I know the Boot Heel is a massive cannabis, has been a cannabis location and grow place for a long time. It'd be cool for, that culture to come through the micro business.
Some of these
that are going to pop up down there. And so, whether that's there or in the wine country hills or, all throughout the state, there still are plenty of gaps for businesses to pop up and succeed. So I'm really hopeful that, the micro business system helps, kind of uplift the whole industry.
Well, I'm really glad you guys are helping some of these folks up, because that's the thing about it, right? Like, you can qualify all day long, but if you don't have the ability to do this at the end of the day, then, and it's good. It's great to have some support out there with some of these teams out there. It's wild, man. What a great community.
And just so listeners, if you haven't heard, and you're interested in Show Me Organics support, please email us, microbusiness@showmeorganics.com. We are checking those daily and monitoring, folks, and we'll take on a handful of partners to help in both the application process and then beyond.
Awesome stuff.
Sweet.
All right, Tony, it looks like we got to catch a break. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
We never do. All right, brother. Really appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
He's so confident.
Hey, that's Tony Billmeyer, y'all. That's Vivid, Blue Sage. That's Buoyant Bob. That's Missouri's Own Edibles. That's all the good stuff out there on the shelves. Show Me Organics in the house. We really appreciate you, Tony.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Awesome stuff. All right, folks, when we get back, we're going to talk about a few different things, including psychedelics and how some of that is helping people save their lives. So you guys, I appreciate you. You're listening to the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live right here at the Robust Cannabis Studios on KKID 92.9.
Chess is the perfect metaphor for business. You have to consider every angle before you move. You and your opponent have the same rules to follow. Not now, Michelle. I'm recording this ad right now. No, I didn't pick up that cheese you like. Well, I didn't see it when I was at the store. What is that in your hand? Oh, this is that fire concentrate we got the other day? Hell yes, I'll do a dab with you. Why didn't you just say that? Oh, this is still recording. Check out the creative minds at Route 66 Labs. Obama. Out!
I'm so freaking tired this morning. Isn't saying something is indescribable just describing it? If a pregnant woman goes swimming, is she a submarine? What if two bots match on Tinder? Do they ever give up? Do fish get seasick in storms? Why is abbreviated such a long word? If a kid refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest? Pizza is a circle, cut into triangles, and delivered in a square. Wax Off is the greatest dab cleaner ever. Kinda slippery. Huh? Not again! Thanks for waking me up, Lil Waxy.
Here we have a prime example of a macaque. His name is Marcus. This particular macaque is bored. He's tired of the same old concert experience. Us too, little buddy. Well, you're in luck, Marcus. Introducing Captain Crossfade, a blend of THCV and CBC. This drink is the life of the party. Energy and focus, as well as an, enhanced experience with other consumables. Marcus is now ready to party all night long. Look at him go. Brought to you by Waxy Brown.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
People always ask me, how do you do it? What's your secret? How long did it take? What kind of dedication do you have? How do you do it every day? Well, the truth is, I'm high as shit most of the time, and I wax off a lot. I mean a lot.
Here we have a prime example of a macaque. His name is Marcus. This particular macaque is bored. He's tired of the same old concert experience. Us too, little buddy. Well, you're in luck, Marcus. Introducing Captain Crossfade, a blend of THCV and CBC. This drink is the life of the party. Energy and focus, as well as an enhanced experience with other consumables. Marcus is now ready to party all night long. Look at him go. Brought to you by Waxy Brown.
Back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. This is that show where sometimes you're going to hear us cough because it's 2 hours of Cannabis Talk Radio, so I have to medicate. So sometimes I come back and have to cough a lot. Hold on. Are you making fun of me, Justin?
No.
I see what's happening here. I see what's happening here. All right, so, hey, before we go any further, what was that? Who did that? Who has the ability on my team to make those noises? Did that go over the FM and the digital?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. You guys, I'm
He
losing
can
control.
add his own sound effects.
I don't want this to start. Stop it. Okay. All right. Check it out. So before we go any further, I want to give a big shout out to, first off, you guys can feel the vibes out there when we're on the radio. I know because I listen to a lot of talk radio shows. So I know right now we sound pretty amped up and like we're having a good time. And it has everything to do with this Captain Crossfade drink that we have here. So I want to talk a little bit about that before we move into some more content here. But the Captain Crossfade is it's a little shot that we came up with on our team. And a big shout out to Phil. He's not here today. He's off site, but he kind of came up with a lot of the formulation, and then Justin came up with all these cool graphics and the labeling and the product design and the marketing and Tim, you're the shoelace that ties the whole thing together. But I want to say, like, I hype a lot of products up, and it takes a lot for me to hype a product up. You guys know I'm pretty offline. I get pretty like, hey, I'm not doing that a lot. Like I say no a lot, and I would never say no to Captain Crossfade. It's definitely one of my favorite products because, like, I like coffee, I like energy drinks, I like all that. But THCV is the cannabinoid that can replace all that. Like those, energy drinks aren't good for you. Like I don't know, Justin, what do you drink Monsters?
Yeah, I was drinking 2 Monsters a day for years, and had to wean myself off that, and then like giant cups of coffee, and not so much anymore.
Yeah, Captain Crossfade, we're fine. And Steve, you should try it in the morning time for real, like before the morning show.
Yeah,
because we're experiencing a lot
coffee.
of and it has 10 milligrams of CBC in it. You guys, that's the cannabinoid they're saying is a force multiplier. So for a guy like me, that makes me think, can I get a little bit higher after this blunt when I smoke it? And that's what it's for, is to help you out that direction too. So we're pretty proud of that product. I want you guys to check that out on Facebook at Captain Crossfade. All kinds of good stuff coming.
And it tastes good too. I mean, I just put some in my little seltzer water I've got. I'm going to drink it over the next hour and a half or whatever. So
yeah, everybody that follows me on the socials knows that I'm trying to stay away from booze, right? So I've been doing a lot of live videos with cannabis drinks, like all kinds of crazy stuff. I've been trying all the different weed drinks on the planet. But I've been adding Captain Crossfade to my drink because it does give it that pep. Like when you go to the club and you want the vodka Red Bull or whatever, you don't need that if you got THCV. Go party all night. So it's 4 hours, 5 hours of a lot of fun. So I've had a good time with it. Justin, big shout out for the marketing too. The monkey on this bottle is a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check out the Captain Crossfade. And if you guys are a shop out there, a head shop, or any of my sponsors out there, any cats out there that got those retail locations, hit us up if you want to carry Captain Crossfade, because I'd love to bring the party to your town. So enough of that. So I want to give a big shout out too to Phil, because Phil is on a podcast tomorrow. Phil from Team Waxy is on the Dab Dads podcast. That's on Facebook. That's DABB Dab, and then Dads with 2 D's at the end. Those are our friends out in Roswell, New Mexico, and they I got to admit, like, it's one of the better shows when it comes to just cool topics and no one really caring about, those guys. They just have a lot of confidence, and I really like watching them do what they do. So if you guys tune into Dab Dads tomorrow night, what time is that, Justin?
It's 8:30 Central Time, and if you can keep up with Lunger, the guy, there's one of the guys in there, his name's Lunger. That man takes so many dabs in the course of their hour-long show. I don't know how he can stand up, but he takes it like a champ, and it's just hilarious to watch.
Well, are they sitting down during the show?
Yeah.
That's why. See, he doesn't have to stand up. I envy those guys. Like, I envy all these podcasts and stuff that can because we're on the FM as well as podcasting and digital and all that. So I can't just sit here and rage a bunch of weed, even though one day I will be able to. Y'all think federal?
What do you mean you can't?
Y'all think federal legalization is important because of banking and things like that?
Do you know what that does to the equipment when it lingers in there and the smoke? Yeah, you can't now. I mean, not that you couldn't do it, on a, but not.
Are you telling me no before I'm even allowed to?
Well,
Oh,
not in
no.
the studio.
Well, they sell covers now. Once it goes federally legal, they sell 1972 covers.
Well,
These things.
How did that go when they were smoking cigarettes in studio, though, Steve? Huh?
Yeah. What about that? Steve?
Yeah, that was before my time.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That's why the board is kind of an off brown, not a clear white, right?
Yeah, I was wondering how that kind of got that yellowish tint to it.
Exactly. See? All right. So check it out. So you guys, Vegas has a really hip scene out there, right? And it's really cool. Almost no matter what part of the culture, what part of America you're in, you're going to Vegas for something or another, whether it's a conference or whatever. But check this out. I got some cool stuff going on here with Vegas. It says Las Vegas is home to about 150,000 available hotel rooms on any given night. 150,000 rooms every night. Now, one way for a new hotel to distinguish itself from the pack, apparently, is to allow guests to smoke cannabis in their rooms. Now, here's this hotel, guys. It's you're looking for room with a view. Tim, did you find that? Okay,
I got it now.
Okay. So it says the Waxy. Now, you guys remember that because that's the hotel we're always going to stay in forever and ever, amen, in Vegas, because they're the first out the gate to do this when everybody's going to. So the Waxy, a 64-room hotel, doesn't sound that big, is set to open June 2nd is when it opens its doors. Guests are allowed to consume cannabis on Waxy's property if they're staying in designated guest rooms on the hotel's 4th floor. Now, I want room 420 so bad. I don't even like it. It's so bad. Like Steve. I
bet every room is a 420 A, B, C.
Maybe
you need a 420W.
Right. Yeah. WB baby. So they're set to open June 2nd. Says you can consume on the property if you're on the 4th floor. But it's cool. The hotel's owned by check this out. It's owned by Elevations Hotel and Resorts. Elevations, an Arizona-based company with a reputation for creating cannabis inclusive atmospheres. Man, I like these guys. Elevations purchased a boutique hotel called the Artisan in Las Vegas for $11.9 million in 22. Steve, we can get a hotel. You got that much bread?
Not in my pocket today.
Yeah, I don't even think I have.
I do if you convert it to Thai baht.
Very good. I've been to Thailand. You can get a lot for a baht. All right, here we go. So they revamped that business that they bought for $12 million. They revamped that and turned it into the Waxy. Okay. It says here, this is a quote from the company on their website I got. These accommodations are outfitted with state-of-the-art restoration filtration systems in each room, which employs advanced oxidation cell technology. The Waxy explains on its website, where it also clarifies that it operates in accordance with all local and state laws. Now, they've got the baddest little filtration system on the planet in each one of these rooms. That's pretty wild. Obviously, the other floors don't smell the cannabis, I guess.
Well, you got a technology company looking at this going, well, wait, we all smoke weed, so why don't we bring these two combinations to that market?
Right. You're right.
It's brilliant.
Somebody was like, I work for the air conditioner company.
Right. We got this new technology that's better than anybody.
Got this tech. All right. So
and it works.
Yeah. So it says cannabis can't be sold on the property or delivered to the hotel. So it's bring your own bud. I don't know how much they're watching that, but moreover, the Waxy is a non-gaming hotel, so there's no gaming there, right? So that's really it for them, weed, okay? And it's only for guests 21 and older, because that's the laws there in Vegas. They're one of the 21 and up states. It says guests got to show that ID to get in. In a statement to Travel Weekly, which I like this because that's a national magazine, right? The Nevada Cannabis Compliance Board explained that the hotel does not hold a state cannabis license for Cannabis Consumption Lounge. It says the CCB has not been contacted by the Waxy, and so we can't comment on the legality of their business plans without more information. So the Waxy's like they haven't applied for anything yet. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is it's a good bet. You can double down and get stoned at the Waxy.
I think so. Oh man, did he find that? He's got a little drum. Okay, so here's how this ends. Here's what I love about this. Okay, they just told you that they've got the dopest filtration system on the planet, right? They got this under wraps, man. They said it's like what they say. It's advanced oxidation cell technology restore air filtration system. That sounds like NASA. Like, but they said here at the end, the Lexi does refers to itself as a non-smoking facility and does not allow tobacco. So it is a non-smoking facility. This place is no tobacco, no cigarettes, no blunts. Apparently, I think that's not maybe a hemp blunt. They got the hemp ones. I'm okay. Furthermore, room service is unavailable, which is kind of weird for me. So it says if you plan to smoke weed in your room, pack snacks. It makes me wonder if how they're getting around some of this stuff is they don't serve food, so they're not a restaurant. They don't qualify for that rule or whatever, and it's interesting to see. But if you guys are in Vegas, the Lexi is apparently starting June 2nd, going to be a place to go. Let's pay attention to that on their socials and stuff. I'm interested to see what kind of parties they
only
throw.
a couple weeks away.
Yeah. I think Steve said that he's going to fly the whole team out there for a party.
Yeah, as long as your wings don't give out, Waxy.
It's not good for me.
Whoops.
And you got no noise for that one?
No,
I mean, come on.
There's no, I don't mean it. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, Tony Billmeyer, stop it. Tony Billmeyer was on a little bit earlier, and he mentioned something that I want to talk about, and that was municipality taxes here in Missouri. And we had talked about some of these municipalities that were ahead of the ball game, and so they're currently collecting tax. And one of the ones we talked about that were sleeping on it was Springfield, Missouri, because Springfield's got a lot of dispensaries. It's a big population. They didn't have that tax yet. So before we go to a break, I want to tell you guys a little bit what they've got going on. Springfield, Missouri voters are going to get a chance to decide in August whether there's going to be a 3% sales tax on rec marijuana within their city limits. Their city council unanimously voted to place the measure on the adult ballot. I wonder if they had a little egg on their face for not doing it earlier. Who's going to say no to that kind of money when you're broke? During a meeting Monday night, revenue from sales of the drug will be earmarked for city public safety, housing, and substance abuse, mental health prevention and treatment. The voter-approved constitutional amendment to legalize sets a statewide sales tax at 6%. So this would bring Springfield up to that 9% is what it would come up to. Now, here's what I wanted to go over before we pop to that break. The residents were asked to rank different priorities. Springfield asked, I think this is really cool. They asked their residents, what do you want the marijuana tax to go on? Their city council. I think that's very brave of them because most governments want to put that in that general fund and then use that for whatever they need it for. And to me, that dilutes the power of cannabis helping communities unless it's directed the right way. So I think it's really cool. The following is the percentage of surveyed residents who were assigned a particular priority by highest ranking. So number one that the citizens wanted out of Springfield, 55% of them, they want more public safety and crime prevention. They want more cops, cameras, things like that. And I totally agree with them. Springfield has some issues there, especially on the north side. And that north side seems to be getting a little bigger every year with the gun violence and things like that happening there. So I sure would love for cannabis to take a bite out of crime down there. And no pun intended to that guy, McGruff. But number two, and this is another one that Springfield in particular deals with a lot. They're downtown. You go down there, and this is right in your face, and you'll understand homelessness and housing services. Now, I like that they're talking about housing services as opposed to just dumping money into the issue of homeless because it can go in a lot of different directions. Solution-based answers with tax money, right? That's what we want. Then we'll go down the list here. 37% were community health and wellness. I think that's pretty great. Premium pay for essential workers is another one. They want their they have a great their Mercy hospital system up there is huge. They want more pay for these folks that just went through what they went through over the last few years, and I agree with them with that as well. And I think teachers should also be on that list. But
hey Waxy, did they carve anything out for paying K-Kid Salem Rolla 92.9 FM at the top of the hour?
At the top of the hour, though, they did not. It is, but thank you for that. Thank you for that, buddy. So stabilizing and revitalizing neighborhoods. They want that. 29% of them said that's a yes for them. And I could agree. Once you get past commercial down there in Springfield, things kind of get a little wild. No offense if you live on those addresses, but sorry, Charlie, it's like that. 29% want quality of life out of this. They want some youth centers, some parks built. Now, Springfield's got a lot of that already, but I'd love to see more because it's a big populace that needs lots of that. 24% said they want more economic recovery and growth out of their cannabis tax dollars. We can all agree everybody likes economic growth, but they're calling it economic recovery there because they've been through some things. And then the last one I think was very important as well. 22% said they love more public facility preservation and enhancement. If you do go down to Springfield municipalities, even their police, sheriff's departments, things like that downtown, you can definitely see that they need some help with those buildings. They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful downtown districts, but you can't keep something nice unless you put a little bit of money into it, and Springfield needs that. So I'm excited to see them going down the road that they're going, because as I've said on this show for 2 years straight, Springfield has not been friendly through their city council to cannabis users through over-policing and not decriminalizing. Even after all this, we landed recreational before they ever decriminalized. That's a shame. Now they can fix that, and it seems like they're maybe going to do it. So let's see what Springfield does with those tax dollars. And keep in mind, folks, if you're out there and you're listening and you're in a community where they're still making these decisions, jump in, hit that button and say, I want to talk, because you can help. They wouldn't have come up with any of this if they didn't have advocates and activists knocking on their door and talking to them. And you guys are those people. So we appreciate that. It's time for a break. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about psychedelics, guys. It's been a great show so far. You're listening to the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios, K-Kid 92.9.
I'm so freaking tired this morning. Isn't saying something is indescribable just describing it? If a pregnant woman goes swimming, is she a submarine? What if two bots match on Tinder? Do they ever give up? Do fish get seasick in storms? Why is abbreviated such a long word? If a kid refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest? Pizza is a circle, cut into triangles, and delivered in a square. Wax Off is the greatest dab cleaner ever. Kinda slippery. Huh? Not again! Thanks for waking me up, Lil Waxy.
Premium brand. We're the best. High quality. Unique. Premium brand. Different. Unique. Premium brand. Different. We're different. We're different. Premium brand.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the robust Cannabis studios at K-Kid 92.9. All right, it's been a wild show so far. We've had all kinds of good stuff, but I want to welcome back a regular to the show and a good friend of ours, Ethan Thampy. Now, a little introduction to who Ethan is would take a long time. What I will tell you about Ethan is today he is here to talk to us about some really important stuff. Ethan has a background in passing and working with all kinds of different legislation. He's a lobbyist, works out of Jeff City to pass cannabis regulation and as well as psilocybin and other conversations. Ethan gave me a really good phone call yesterday and talked, on the show we talk about cannabis as an exit drug, right? And that's why we started this whole thing. Like us in this room, we know we first started this show because we thought a lot of people needed to know that we could save lives. And so it turns out that plant-based medicine is bigger than just cannabis, right? And Ethan is on the forefront working actively in many different directions to help bring that life-saving conversation home. Because, you look at my tie-dye and everything, and when I say mushrooms, y'all think I'm out dancing with fairies out at the river with my friends. But when a guy like Ethan shows up inside an office and talks to a politician or someone that needs to hear that conversation, he's able to make a different kind of difference. And Ethan, I want to thank you from us at the show for all the work that you've done. And welcome back, and take us for a walk on what you've discovered out there.
Well, thanks for having me, Waxy. Good to see you all. So, as you mentioned, the movement to legalize and create access to psychedelics is really moving forward right now. We had a bill that would have provided psilocybin access this year. We had some really good movement on it. Hopefully we can get it passed next year. The FDA is in process of rescheduling psilocybin and MDMA for prescription for major depression and PTSD, respectively. And a lot of that movement has been driven by folks in the veteran community. So I've been, very honored and grateful to work with many of those groups. So I want to highlight particularly William Wisner at the Grunt Style Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you've probably seen Grunt Style's T-shirts. They have those cross rifles on the patches on the arm sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
They're all over the place. It's incredible.
Yeah, I was at Fort Wood just yesterday when I was shopping, and I had to have seen 6 of those in the Walmart. And because Ethan had talked to me about it, now I see them everywhere. But yeah, great.
Yeah. And their foundation side is part of a national coalition called the Veterans Mental Health Leadership Coalition, which is like close to 30 veteran groups around the country working together to promote psychedelic access. And really excited to see what we're going to be able to achieve in the next year or two.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about the psychedelic that we've been talking about here yesterday on the phone, because I tried to pronounce it and had some issues even Googling it. And then once I found it on the internet, I found that it's a conversation that's been being had a little bit. But, we talk about exit drug strategy and opioids being a real big problem in the United States of America still, even though we've identified it as a problem. Our nation recognized it as a hazard. Somehow we still have this gigantic problem. Well, it turns out that there could be a solution that's much like a light switch. So talk to me a little bit about that, Ethan.
Yeah, psychedelics generally have been studied, and there's a lot of evidence for them as exit drugs from opiate addiction, alcohol addiction. John Hopkins is doing tobacco cessation studies. University of Wisconsin is doing a trial on psilocybin as a exit drug from opiates. You see a lot of veterans, particularly special forces types, that go down to Mexico or South America for ayahuasca, which has become somewhat well known in the in popular culture these days. But I am probably most excited about the evidence about a psychedelic from West Africa called iboga, which is the bark is a tree, and the bark of which, if you consume, is a very powerful psychedelic. You can also process the bark, if you don't feel like eating tree bark. You can process it into its alkaloid content, which is a molecule called ibogaine. And ibogaine in the body metabolizes into noribogaine, which completely interrupts your opiate receptors. So it is famous for, after one treatment, people walking away from opiates cold turkey. And they can do that because the opiate receptor activity is inhibited. There's no withdrawal from opiates on ibogaine. So, I can't think of one policy intervention in my lifetime that really has changed the course or the trajectory of our opiate crisis. But I think ibogaine is going to give us a real fighting chance to make some headway and hopefully end these this apocalypse of opiate overdose and fatalities in the United States.
And people are coming at it, the opioid epidemic, from all kinds of different directions I'm seeing out there. But the problem is it's all civilian driven. There's not enough government, and I'm not the guy that wants more government, right? But we do need people to step in and, for one, stop the pills, stop the opioid stuff, start. But on our side of the fence, on EPEN's side of the fence and everything, it really comes down to education, because there are pathways available like this, even though this one's not fully available. We need a lot more education out there, because when you told me about this, just to be real, EPEN, I've lost a lot of friends because it's Missouri, right? We've all lost friends to opioids, or have friends that have, for sure. And to see and think about some of those folks that I lost, being able to take just a little 3-day walk down psychedelic lane and be able to come out fresh, clear, and be able to restart as human beings, that's enticing to me.
Yeah, it was just tremendous benefits. Generally speaking, psychedelics help regrow and reset your brain. I mean, ibogaine, psilocybin, other psychedelics will literally help your brain regrow neurons or repair damaged neurons. Which we, in scientific terms, we're creating, neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, and really helping your brain grow, make new connections instead of the ones that we've been hardwired, that have kind of set in and become hardwired as we become adults or experience traumatic events.
So, Ethan, if I'm a daily psychedelic user and I want to know how to get involved, how can I make a difference and get involved?
You mean someone that's interested in psychedelics?
Yeah. So, we started the movement in Missouri for psychedelic access 7 years ago with the help of one of the great veteran advocates in the space who has now passed, my friend Matt Kale. Now we have we have a website, psychedelicmissouri.com, and need to update it since the legislative session is over. But there you can kind of see some of the advocacy and some of the videos of testimony that we've helped facilitate. We hope to be doing a couple of conference events later on this year. Hopefully St. Louis, Kansas City, Columbia. And then, I've been working in DC as well on these issues. There's a bipartisan movement in Congress to create access for psychedelics. In fact, last week, Congressman Dan Crenshaw, who's I think he's a former SEAL, Republican congressman out of Texas, told the House Armed Services Committee that we need access very publicly. It's the second year he's begun taking up this call, but this is becoming a real conversation on Capitol Hill in DC.
Yeah, and I don't have to tell the folks that are on this program right now, but some of the folks listening, we know that over 22 veterans decide to commit suicide every single day, and that decision is assisted by oftentimes opioids, alcohol, things like that. So to have any kind of exit strategy for these folks, these veterans out there that they offer to give their lives for us, I don't know why we wouldn't offer to give them mushrooms or a little tree bark to help alleviate that.
Yeah, people talk about that 22-day number, but let's be honest, I think that's probably undercounted significantly. That suicide number is probably a little higher, and then we don't really include in that number the people who just die, who aren't committing suicide, but or necessarily doing something intentional, but or drinking themselves to death. They're consuming so many pharmaceutical drugs with harmful effects that have been prescribed for them that lead to terminal condition. And it's not just veterans, it's law enforcement. It's, so many groups and parts of our society that, experience trauma or have, isolation or hopelessness and then don't see, don't have anything to live for. It's a societal, very pervasive issue.
And it'll be kind of a shame to watch, it's not, because we want these products out there in these lanes for people to go to a more holistic approach. But Big Pharma is going to get in this game as quick as anybody else, and to watch them dial back the damage that they've done to us for decades by using these products, that'll kind of get under my skin a little. So expecting me to complain about that just a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things that I think the veteran advocates have really created an awareness of is pharmaceutical companies, they're going to try to create novel psychedelics and put patents on it. But we should have access to botanical psychedelics. And we should be able to make these therapies available for, minimal cost.
Or home cultivation for some of this stuff, it's what it is. Epen, I really appreciate you being on the show, man, and trying to bring this information to us. Folks, look for Epen to come back over the next couple weeks because there's a lot happening out there, and he is our link on the show to a lot of those conversations out there. So we really appreciate you, Epen, and we'll catch you next time, brother.
All right, man. Peace.
Awesome, y'all.
Man, I tell you what that dude has been doing in the hemp side of this industry, him and Kevin and that whole hemp board, they're doing good things up there.
Yeah, for a lobbyist, I'd share a blunt with him.
Right. Can't,
though,
right?
Man. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, folks, I want to talk about something really serious now. I want to take it to a real serious note. Hulk Hogan. Turns out, as we know here in Missouri, Mo Dank, some friends of ours on the show, they've got the Ric Flair and Mike Tyson products out there. Tyson 2.0, which is also Ric Flair Drip. Okay, which is really cool. We got to see them at Smoky River Entertainment District for the 420 Fest, and Mike Tyson came through the Dav Stars crowd. It was a lot of fun, man. And Ric Flair was wooing up on stage, and lots of pictures, and what a great team. Well, it turns out that sometimes you got to bring on another heavyweight onto the scene. So it looks like Hulk Hogan is following Ric Flair and Mike Tyson into the cannabis business, brother. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan was a recent guest on TMZ Sports to discuss a variety of subjects, right? So when he started talking about all the injuries he's been through in his career, Hogan revealed that CBD and THC have had him feeling better than he's ever felt in a long time. He said, I always joked that I didn't get the memo that this stuff was I always joked that I didn't get the memo that this stuff was fake. And after 10 back surgeries and 2 new knees and 2 new hips, it's a situation that you do get hurt out there all the time, Hogan said. I think he might have been high when he said this, because it's kind of all over the place. He said, I feel better than I've ever felt at 69 years old. He said, I feel like I'm 25 again. Now, part of that's got to be marketing. I know dude's not feeling 25. I've seen these
with all the new body parts, man. How can you not?
Robo Hulk, yeah. Where's my drum?
I wonder how that compares in value to the $6 million man.
Right. He said, quote, it definitely helped me because as I said, the slow walk back from the prescription drugs ended with me downing the Tylenol and the Advil and the Aleve. And finally, even that wasn't working for me, Hulk Hogan said. He said, as I moved away from that and got into the CBD world, it really changed the game on my sleep and also the inflammation. He said the way my wrists and joints hurt across the board, it helped with all of my health. Now, Hogan's such a believer in the power of CBD and THC that he's partnering up with Karma Holdco. Now, that's to create his own cannabis line, following in the footsteps of his friends Mike Tyson and Ric Flair. He said, when I saw what Rick and Mike were doing, he said, I instantly wanted to get on the team because you use CBD for energy, sleep, fitness. It just makes sense, Hogan said. He said, it's a logical extension of where I already was, but this is a safe way to approach things instead of that wild card way of doctor's prescription stuff. He said it just didn't make sense anymore. So pretty cool stuff, man. We got Hulk Hogan is getting in the game. I think that's pretty cool stuff. I know it said here, I know Ric Flair is really excited. He was talking in here about how excited he was. And he was talking about, go ahead.
What wasn't the quote from Ric Flair just, woo?
No, it wasn't, but it should be.
Oh, okay.
He said, Ric Flair said, he talked about how grueling his travel schedules used to be when he was wrestling. He said, I could tell you right now that 2 of the biggest problems, he said, and Tim can attest to this. He said, I'm not just going to put it in the wrestling business, but in sports in general, is getting up and getting down. A lot of people need a lift in the morning, whether it be an energy drink or something like that, like coffee. But when you run as hard as we do, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, cannabis is much, much, much safer than using other medications like Ambien as a sleep aid. He said, especially on the international tours, he said, you're getting off the plane and you're going to work that night. He said, you got to be ready for that. So I think this is really cool because, for one, these are icons, right? Who doesn't know who Hulk Hogan is, right? Like,
boy, the branding is just perfect.
And think about this, like, yeah, the branding especially. Like, if you take let's say a 4-pack of Hulk Hogan's pre-rolls in your car, how many jokes are you going to start making with the old brothers and the blah blah blah? You know, it's a blast to have products that you can talk about in a sesh. So pretty cool stuff. Are we at that time?
No.
Oh, okay. You kept looking at me like I might need to take a break.
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm just looking at you because I'm amazed.
Okay, yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
I think it's cool, man. I think. Go ahead, Justin.
Let's get the Incredible Hulk. You know, maybe
he's not real. I keep telling you this, but he writes him letters and just kidding. But all right, here we go. Let's go on to the next subject. Justin, what were you gonna say first off?
I was gonna say I could just see someone going somewhere in a session, just like hit this, brother, and then it just turns into like the Royal Rumble inside a car or something like that, you know?
Oh, we're wrestling with the weed now. Actually, I think that's probably I would have a lot of fun with that. I'm going to run and get these because we ran and got the Mike Tyson stuff as soon as it came out. We haven't gotten the Ric Flair drip yet. We need to try that.
Have you showed me those ears, right?
The Mike Tyson bites.
Ears?
Yeah, we ate them in here. Yeah, right. It was fire. Okay. Yeah. All right, so Tim, you want to pull up the one that says weed pee?
Weed pee. Oh, yeah, I got that right
okay.
up front.
Right.
I got that right up front.
Okay, I'm sure you did. Okay. All right. It says here, cannabis use among the U.S. workforce. Now we're talking about our all the people in the United States that work have reached a historically elevated level last year, according to newly released data from the lab company Quest Diagnostics. Now I've heard of Quest. I'm sure a lot of people have. For the more than 6 million workplace urine tests, the New Jersey-based firm collected in 2022. That's 6 million. That this one New Jersey firm collected, 4.3 came up positive for weed. 4.3% of the people tested. Now, just to be real about it, I've worked in head shops my whole life. There are so many ways to get around a urinalysis test. It's just fact. I'm not trying to teach anybody how to do it. You hear 5 old heads right now going, sure, Joe, that's how you do it. And it was like, oh, people had all their different ways, right? Like, but it's interesting to see that percentage, because we know a lot more than that. Smoke cannabis in that 30-day period that it's in your body and can be tested. So good ups to the other 70% that had masked those results. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is, but that's an increase though from the prior year of 3.9%. So more people are smoking, therefore more people are going to get popped on these tests. It says that's the largest percentage of positive pot tests that Quest has collected since it started running annual studies in 1988. Yeah, so that's the largest yet. I would think so, with as many states that are legalizing. Should be pretty wild to see that raise up a lot or get rid of the idea of it. It says this historic rise seems to correspond with sharp increases in positivity for marijuana in both pre-employment and post-accident drug tests. Okay, that's where a lot of folks get popped. It's like you have companies out there like Walmart, right? Walmart doesn't do your analysis unless you get hurt. Then that's the first thing that they do to find out who's reliable for those hospital bills, you or them, stoner. That's the way they seem to look at it. So it's an interesting post-accident drug test. Suggesting here that changing societal attitudes about marijuana may be impacting workplace behaviors and putting colleagues at risk. That's what Quest says. The 4.3%, they're putting their colleagues at risk. I had to say, not all of them drive a forklift, guys. Relax. Like, some of these guys bag our groceries. They need to be high. Subway employees, they need, the guys that paint the lines on the side of the road, they need it. Like, librarians, I can't think of very many people that don't. Just that forklift driver. That's the only guy I don't really want.
Only guy.
Yeah, because those things can hurt your feet. I'm scared of those. But anyway, so it says also worthy of note, 7.3% of the employees tested by Quest following a workplace injury came up positive for cannabis last year. That compares to 6.7. So after you get an accident, when they're testing you, it's 7.3 of those cats did smoke prior to within 30 days prior to that accident.
Well, think how many people don't get into the union because they would piss hot.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where the union, if they would just open up the doors and say, come on in, weed, just do it after work.
Yeah.
Just be responsible about it and let's go.
Right.
Do I still have a few minutes?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Check this out. So, I'm not saying I dislike those companies trying to come up with a breathalyzer system for us or some kind of way to haul us into jail. Now, I've been to jail for cannabis, and that's why I think that way. Now, some people think the other way, where it's about safety. We want to make sure that people aren't too intoxicated on the road, things like that. Have your way or whatever. But I want to illustrate once again that there won't be anything effective to come out of this whole conversation. There is nothing that you can do to tell these drivers that they, within the 30 days, because cannabis stays in your system for 30 days, there's just no way to bust people unless you come up with some science I don't know about. But here's the government telling us that we've been right on the show for 2 years. A new federally funded study illustrates the difficulty of developing a breathalyzer system for cannabis, a device for cannabis. Even when using carefully collected samples and laboratory analysis, researchers found THC levels were too inconsistent to tell whether someone had smoked marijuana recently. There just isn't a way. The findings from researchers at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, they sound smarter than me. And the University of Colorado Boulder, I know that they're testing cannabis down there in Colorado and Boulder, so I know they do not support. They say they do not support. The National Institute of Standards and Technologies does not support the idea of detecting THC in breath as a single measurement that could reliably indicate recent cannabis use, the author said. A lot more research is needed to show that a cannabis breathalyzer can produce useful results, said co-author Kavita Jarange. She's one of my new best friends, an NIST materials research engineer. She said a breathalyzer test can have a huge impact on a person's life. So people should have confidence that the results are accurate. I'm going to repeat that. A breathalyzer test can have a huge impact on a person's life. So people should have confidence that the results are accurate. they're not coming up with these machines to say, ha, 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 they smoked weed. We got a result on it. They want to put us in jail. They want to ticket you. They want reasons. They want to discover if we're out there wrecking up their highways and their roads. Now, I've sat next to the guy in Missouri, and I'm one of the national guys that builds our highways, and we got high in front of him. You remember when I did that in front of 64 different police officers? That guy that's in charge of our roads and highways was one of them. Blew his mind that we did well on all those tests, and this is why it's like they keep trying to throw darts at a dartboard that doesn't exist. You need to understand the endocannabinoid system before you can understand how to test it.
Don't you think that's the bottom line right there of what like Vivid and the medical license and staying focused in that area? Because we do have an endocannabinoid system,
right?
And we're not going to be able to educate enough people without companies like that providing the education.
Yeah. So check this out. To conduct this study, it was published in the Journal of Breath Research on Monday. Breath Research. It's a journal. Researchers took breath and blood samples from 18 participants in Colorado who smoked the same kind of retail marijuana. I hope it was good, which contained roughly 25% THC. Didn't tell me anything about the terps. Samples were collected in what NIST press release describes as a, quote, comfortably appointed white van that would park conveniently outside the participant's home for 15 minutes before and after people smoked marijuana. Like, can you imagine? Oh, van's here. I better smoke. I got to go out to the van. Like, that'd be pretty wild. It says the analysis was done in a lab, though, not in the field. The representative emphasized in an email to Marijuana Moment that the agency is not working on developing a roadside breathalyzer device. They are not working on that. Instead, they're seeking to better understand the basics of how to accurately measure THC and related compounds in breath. Okay, not just THC, but other things too, other cannabinoids. They want to be able to tell. Of 14 participants who provided breath samples both before and after, 8, a slim majority, showed the anticipated increase in THC after cannabis use. So they're saying that right after these guys smoked, only a bare majority showed an elevated increase in THC. The other ones, no change. Right. So how can you possibly give me a ticket for that, right? So it says the rest of the results were noisy. THC was not detected in 3 post-use breath extracts, not seen at all. And the remainder of post-use extracts were similar to or lower than the baselines. So it's all over the place. So you can't tell me that. Now these are universities and big timers out here that are sciencey guys. I like those guys, man, telling us that you can't do what you're trying to do, and that's keep sending us to jail. Let prohibition lie. Let it be. If you want to test something, test terpenes. We need more of that in the world. Stop trying to tell me when I'm smoking. Hey, you guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios right here at KKID 92.9. We'll be right back.
Chess is the perfect metaphor for business. You have to consider every angle before you move. You and your opponent have the same rules to follow. Not now, Michelle. I'm recording this ad right now. No, I didn't pick up that cheese you like. Well, I didn't see it when I was at the store. What is that in your hand? Oh, this is that fire concentrate we got the other day? Hell yes, I'll do a dab with you. Why didn't you just say that? Oh, this is still recording. Check out the creative minds at Route 66 Labs. Obama. Out.
I'm so freaking tired this morning. Isn't saying something is indescribable just describing it? If a pregnant woman goes swimming, is she a submarine? What if two bots match on Tinder? Do they ever give up? Do fish get seasick in storms? Why is abbreviated such a long word? If a kid refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest? Pizza is a circle, cut into triangles, and delivered in a square. Wax Off is the greatest dab cleaner ever. Kinda slippery. Huh? Not again! Thanks for waking me up, Lil Waxy.
Here we have a prime example of a macaque. His name is Marcus. This particular macaque is bored. He's tired of the same old concert experience. Us too, little buddy. Well, you're in luck, Marcus. Introducing Captain Crossfade. A blend of THCV and CBC, this drink is the life of the party. Energy and focus, as well as an, enhanced experience with other consumables. Marcus is now ready to party all night long. Look at him go. Brought to you by Waxy Brown.
Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the robust Cannabis Studios right here at K-Kid 92.9 in the heart of the Grozarks. We're nestled down here in Rolla, and we got Justin out there in New Mexico holding it down with Route 66 Labs and all the production on our digital sides. We appreciate that very much. Okay, we were going to play some music on the FM side, but I got some stuff I want to talk about that is music, and we still want to play our new game, real dispensary, fake dispensary. So that's what we're going to do now. We do real strain, fake strain sometimes on the show, and that's where we pick, my team picks which one's real, which one's fake. Well, Justin's got the wheel this week with real dispensary, fake dispensary name. So take the wheel, my friend.
Yeah, so we're going to give out, kind of like we do with the other game, we're going to give out two different names. One is real, one is fake. You guys need to pick the correct real dispensary name. And some of these are pretty creative. Whoever decided that dispensaries needed to follow the pun model is my superhero. So let's just go with that.
Okay. All right.
So who's first? What order are we going in?
How about I'll go first. I'll take the.
Am I keeping score again?
Yeah,
as always?
you're good at that. Yeah, and I'll go first, then Steve, and then Tim.
All right. So up first we have, is it Cannabis College or John Bong Jovi?
I'm not gonna lie, I want it to be John Bong Jovi. Listen, I know my girl's listening. If this is incorrect, we are naming when I get home one of our bongs after John Bong Jovi. So I'm going John Bong Jovi for the lawsuit. Go, Steve.
I would say John Bong Jovi.
Because you forgot the first
Jovi.
one?
No.
Oh.
I'll go with the college.
Cannabis College.
Cannabis College.
All right, which one is it, Justin?
Cannabis College is real.
All right,
Really?
Tim got it.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's no John Bong Jovi. And if there isn't, hit me up, Bon Jovi. We'll make this work.
So is that like next to the bookstore on campus or what?
I don't know, but if you're in a college town, that's the way to crush it right there.
I think so. Yeah, totally.
and you know those boys were young when they did that. They took a shot and it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Okay. All right, what's your next one?
All right, so the next one, is it Sticky Icky Dispensary?
Yep.
Or Joint Rest Stop?
Dang it. Sticky Icky Dispensary or Joint Rest Stop? I want both those to be right. I'm gonna go with Joint Rest Stop.
I'm gonna go with.
I got
Sticky
bad
Icky.
knees. I want that. You're going with Sticky Icky Dispensary?
Yep.
Sticky Icky.
All right, the guy's got Sticky Icky. I won.
The real one is Joint Rest Stop.
Thank you for that. I'm glad that there is one of those out there in the world. I am going to go
Waxy's
there.
up.
We need to find out where that one's at. I need to Google that. I'm going to go there. I hope it's in
So the next one, is it Smoke and Mirrors or is it Weed Steed?
Weed Steed? Like a horse?
Yeah, it's spelled the same as like a steed, like a horse.
No, I'm going with the first one. I don't even remember what that was.
Smoke and Mirrors?
That's Smoke and Mirrors is where it's at. Although that seems like a bait and switch kind of spot. I don't like that either. Like you go in and get some BS.
Hey,
like,
you made your call. Move on.
That's right.
New rule.
I'm gonna go with the Smoke and Mirrors.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steed. Totally.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course you are. Okay.
The
Which
real one is Smoke and Mirrors.
Okay. See, it's probably some kind of scam joint, but we're gonna go there.
Yep. They sell hemp and market it as cannabis.
Right.
Yeah.
Delta 54 or whatever.
Yeah. All right. So then the next one is it Terrible Tomatoes Inc.
I hope
or
so.
Blueberry Ballistics LLC?
What was the first one?
Terrible Tomatoes Inc. or Blueberry Ballistics
I want it
LLC?
to be terrible. That branding will be fire. Like the shirts. If that's not, that's what. If I get a micro license, it's going to be. I'm going with Terrible Tomatoes for the win. Steve.
What was the second one?
Blueberry Ballistics LLC.
I'll go with the Blueberry Ballistics.
I want to smoke that strain for sure.
I'm on the tomato.
It's got to be right.
Got to be.
Okay, Terrible Tomatoes for Tim and I.
The real one is Blueberry Ballistics LLC.
Justin is. I guarantee. I know my dude. He's already gone and bought the website for the tomato one. He's already patented the logo. So it's not the tomato
No,
one.
but if someone wants that for the dispensary, they can reach out to me at Justin at Route 66 Labs, and I'll be happy to put that together for you.
Nice.
So that it was terrible plugs or terrible tomatoes.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, is it Joint Venture, or I think this one's a play on the Sopranos, but it's Dabagool. Dabagool instead of Gabagool, or Joint Venture.
Unfortunately it's Joint Venture. And Dabba anything is going to be my win every time. I'm going with Dabba anything.
So which one you taking?
I'm going with the second one, Dabagool.
I'm going with
Dabagool.
Joint Venture. Yeah.
Joint venture.
Joint
It's
Venture.
Joint
for the-
Venture.
All right. Well, it needs to not be. Also, if I'm losing, I don't like this game anymore. What's the next one?
Steve's.
All right, listen.
Steve's ahead by one.
Full disclosure, I called Justin earlier, and I said, "Listen, man, if you don't have enough real dispensaries, fake dispensaries, I can give you a few of them, and to kind of give me the edge." And he hung up on me, so I got no edge here. So that's why I'm losing.
Good job, Justin.
But, yeah.
That's what I do. So the next one is it the Stony Pony or Hype Herbally?
The Stony Pony or the Hype Herbally?
Yeah, like hyperbole, but it's hype hyphen
Hyperbole.
herbally.
I'm going with that. Hyperbole. I like that. If you made that one up, dude, you're awesome. All right, Steve. What do you
All
think?
right, Stoner Pony.
Stony Pony.
Stony Pony.
Okay, what about you? That sounds like a strip. I don't
Yeah,
like it.
I'm going with Waxy on this one.
Okay.
The
All right,
hype,
Yeah.
hype herbally.
yep,
Yes,
we're hyperbole
yes.
over here.
The real one is hyperbole.
Thank you. The Stony Pony's not real. Like I kind of
No.
want that to be real too, but like kind of greasy when you get in there. Like not like I shouldn't bring my friends in here, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
go ahead.
So the next one, and is it Karmaceuticals or Canna Chameleon?
Karmaceuticals or Canna Chameleon? I'm going with Karmaceuticals. I just like that. Karma, Canna Chameleon. It's all the same thing, bro.
Maybe the one fed the other one. Who knows?
What do you think, Steve?
What was the second one?
Canna Chameleon.
I'll go with that.
Yep. Canna Chameleon.
Canna Chameleon. I'm going the other way.
Canna Chameleon.
It's Karmaceuticals is the real one.
Pharmaceuticals.
Really?
Dude. Yeah, why not?
Wow.
Yeah. Canna Chameleon sounds like a Boy George like dispensary. I don't like it. Man.
Waxy just took the lead.
Yeah, that's what's up. See, boss status there.
Well,
What's next?
This is the perfect one for this one then. So is it Grateful Meds, spelled the correct way for your culture, Waxy,
Right. Great.
Or is it Cowboy Neil at the wheel?
You don't have a choice here, man. Come on,
I know. I'm gonna say
I
Grateful.
don't think I have a choice.
You say him again. Grateful Meds. And what was that other one?
Grateful Meds or Cowboy Neil at the wheel?
I want that to be. I want to hang out with Cowboy Neil. But I know there's got to be a Grateful Meds, and if so, I hope that Bob Weir sues for his portion. But I'm gonna go with Grateful Meds. Unfortunately, I wish that there was a Space Case Larry or whatever you said it was. Go ahead. What are they? Steve, it's on you now.
I would say the Grateful Meds.
You're going with Grateful Meds?
Yeah, I'm totally going the other way.
You're going with me?
No.
Leisure Suit Larry or whatever?
No, I'm going with the wheel.
Right, that's what I'm saying. What was it called?
Cowboy Neil at the wheel. That's the one you're going with.
Cowboy Neil takes the wheel. Yeah, that's what I want.
No, you said Grateful earlier.
Oh, I did. Okay, me and Steve said Grateful.
Stoner.
It's going to be that Cowboy Neil.
It's
That's a good
Grateful
one.
Meds.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Writing down Cowboy Neil takes the wheel for a further venture from the Waxy Brown team. That sounds fire. All right, what's next then? So I'm not in the lead anymore. That's what's next.
Yeah, you won that one.
Okay. Oh, I did.
All right.
You're still you're one up over
Okay,
me.
I got it. Okay.
All right, so I've got Madame Turpine's Wax Museum or Flower Power Botanicals.
I'd hang out with all those people. I'm going to have to go with the Flower Power just because I rep the Flower Power, but I might be Madame Tingle Toes or whatever. What'd you say it was?
Madame Turpine's Wax Museum.
Madame
I think it's a playoff Madame Tussauds.
Yeah, I think okay. All right. I'm going with the Flower Power. What about you, Steve?
I'm
Flower
going
Power?
with the Flower Power, right?
Flower Power.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are playing cutthroat now. Okay.
It is the Flower Power Hour.
Okay. All right. Is that the last one?
That's us, the Flower Power Hour.
So I've got 3 or 4 more left. How many
Yeah,
we need to do? Are we tiebreaker yet?
No, well, this one's really important.
Yeah, this will be
Because it
number
gives
10.
you a chance. Get out of here with
Oh
this.
no, let's go.
Okay.
All right. So is it Stony Baloney or Pipe
I hope
Dreams?
so. Or Pipe Dreams. I'm going for the win here. It's Pipe Dreams.
I'm going to go with Pipe Dreams.
Nobody's opening
Oh,
Stony Baloney.
Yeah, I'm going Stony Baloney.
Hold
Yeah,
on, let me rethink
I've heard
this.
this.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
All right, Justin.
It's Pipe Dreams.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. No Stony Baloney.
I just sell myself.
You're a
on that deal.
Braunschweiger guy. We talked about it on break.
Right?
So where's that? Put Waxy in the lead?
Way up there.
Yep, Waxy's up 1.
Yep. Sorry, Steve.
All right. So I got 2 left.
Okay.
So we got Fweedom, FWEEDOM Collective,
That sounds fire.
or Weed Done Did It Now.
Come on, Waxy.
I like that T-shirt.
It's We Done Did It Now. Yeah.
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 I'm going to go with We Done Did
We
It
Done Did It
Now.
Now.
Yep.
Yep. I love
So,
Whedon
yeah.
would be dope.
You guys are going all with Weed Done Did It Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyson would have already put out the Freedom.
Weed Done Did It Now is made up. It's
What?
actually
Wow.
Freedom Collective is real.
Ah. Okay. All right. Next one. This is it right here, Steve. You don't.
You
stand
know
a
what?
chance.
Because
All
we
right.
lost that boys the entire game, doesn't it?
No, because
All
you're
right.
behind so much now that you can't catch up. Stop it. Seabiscuit over here. Next question.
All right. So the last one probably is it Are You Token to Me or is it The Coffee Shop spelled COUGHY?
Ooh, the coffee. Like that's a good one.
Yeah.
Are you token to me?
Are you token to me or the Coffee Shop?
I'm going with the coffee shop. It's like a yeah. I got to.
Yep. I'm going to have to agree with Waxy.
No, I'm going to go the other way.
Okay, what is it?
It's The Coffee Shop.
Oh, see, you went the other way and you ran into a wall. Awesome. So I won the game. What a good time. All right.
Yeah.
Waxy won.
Thanks
Won
for-
by 1 point.
Thanks for those, Justin. Real dispensary, fake dispensary. Thanks for those questions there. So, all right, we got a little bit of time left in the show, and I want to talk about this guy. You got mail order Mike over there?
Oh, I got him over here.
Oh, yeah. All right, mail order Mike. All right, well, I'll talk a little bit about prohibition and how it kind
Hey,
of.
hold on. Can we talk about this little system you got going here with this? Can you tell me which one you're going to use, or do you just kind of pick and choose. At
Oh
the
no,
time.
I do not. No, I just grab them as I go. Like
All
whatever.
right,
looks
here we
like
go.
It's going to be fun
Yep,
for me.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
All right, a third-party contractor who is working with the Gastonia CarMax at the time is accused of having marijuana mailed to his workplace. 39-year-old Michael Williams was arrested at CarMax by Gastonia police on Monday, May 22nd. Now, according to Rick Goodale, spokesman for the Gastonia Police Department, Williams had allegedly been mailing packages from Hollywood, California, delivered to CarMax on the road they were at there for some time. It says on Sunday, management at CarMax allegedly noticed an odor coming from one of the packages. And the following day, around 9 a.m., they called the Gastonian police, who opened the package to find a little more than 3 pounds of marijuana. Now, officers confiscated the substance, they called it, and reportedly replaced it with 3 pounds of other material. Okay, the cops took the weed out, put 3 pounds of some other material in there. When Williams came in to retrieve his package later that day, the cops asked him if the package belonged to him. Now, Williams confirmed that it did, and he was promptly arrested and charged with felony possession and felony possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver, according to the cops. He was released the same day, posting a $10,000 bond. Now, there is this thing where when you get pulled over, your lawyer is going to tell you to shut that up, and you should. I'm not sure why he admitted to all this, but that being said, cannabis busts are still happening. So it's kind of wild to see it happening out there. This guy's taking in 3 pounds at a time. That sounds personal to me. That sounds like a personal stash. 3 pounds sounds about right. I'm just kidding. For me,
It's coming. We're making baby
Yeah, we're on our way.
steps. You know, come
Yeah.
on.
All right, so but there are some famous busts out there I wanted to talk about while we got a little bit of time left and have a little bit of fun. I told you I'd talk about music, so let's talk about Paul and Linda McCartney. They were arrested numerous times, the most famous of which was at the Tokyo airport in 1980. Now, you think the 80s, there wasn't a whole lot going on there with them, but there was. Attempting to smuggle a half pound of pot into Japan. Now, the Smoking Beetle was sentenced to 9 days in jail and then permanently deported. McCartney had also ran afoul of the authorities twice in 72, smuggling hash into Sweden and possession in Scotland, and in 73, growing on his farm in Scotland, and in 1984, possession in Barbados, where he was deported. And in 1941, Linda was busted for her own pot in a 75, and then also in 1984, and she was also busted with Paul in the Barbados bust. So if you don't think that meeting Bob Dylan had some serious consequences, happy birthday, Bob Dylan. There was.
And Paul McCartney is now worth like $1 billion.
All because of cannabis.
Yes.
Oh wait. Or stoners listening to him. Okay. All right. Here, the Rolling Stones got busted. They were busted several times just in 1967 alone. The first took place at Keith Richards' country home while Mick Jagger and others were partying. Keith wasn't even there at his house. All the other Rolling Stones were partying at Keith Richards' house when the bust happened. Shortly thereafter, Brian Jones was also caught with pot. Richards won an appeal, and Mick Jagger was given a conditional discharge. However, the controversy resulted in 65 British legalizers placing a full-page ad. These are all lawyers and judges placing a full-page ad in the London Times, which stated in part, "The law against marijuana is immoral in principle and unworkable in practice." I agree with them. Willie Nelson, man, he was busted in 95 with pot in his car. You guys know he's been busted a bunch, but in 95 specifically, he was pulled over, or he was busted with pot in his car. The charge was dropped, though, after a judge concluded that the search was illegal because Willie was parked on the side of the road and asleep at the time of the bust. He was taking a nap. So that apparently was just perfectly fine with the judge. You guys into David Lee Roth? So the former Van Halen, everybody's like, no. So the former Van Halen lead singer.
Why are you beating all these guys up today, man? It's like
that was louder than I wanted to be. Check this out. So this is David Lee Roth. He was taking a stroll in New York's Washington Square Park looking for a dime bag. He just took a walk, was looking for a dime bag. He did find the dime bag, made the purchase, and was promptly arrested in a police drug sweep of the park. He had to pay a $35 fine and also had to endure countless jokes and public humility for his high crime.
I wonder how much his dime bag cost him.
It wasn't
his
a
fine was
dime.
only $30. $35.
If David Lee Roth
dime
is going to
bag.
buy a dime bag from me, I'm going to tax him because
Yeah.
I love Sammy. So number 13 here, the Grateful Dead guys. They were set up by a local prankster. You guys remember the pranksters? The Dead's famous house at 710 Ashbury was raided by police in 1967. Now Bob Weir, Pigpen, and 3 others were arrested. Funny thing was, the police search, it never turned up the kilo of pot they were looking for. It was in the pantry though. It was in the pantry the whole time. You guys know Flava Flav? You guys remember he had that really cool TV show? I know, Justin, you probably watched every episode, didn't you? Flava Flav.
Oh, I have multiple Flavor Flav clocks that I wear occasionally in public.
I don't doubt that. No, I do doubt that, actually. Flavor Flav, he was in Public Enemy. He's been actually arrested numerous times for crack, which we don't have a 2-hour crack show, so we won't talk about that. But in 1996, he was arrested for pot, riding his bicycle in the Bronx. Police stopped him when they noticed a large bulge in his jacket. It was a kilo-sized brick of weed. Now, I want to give it to the man. If you're going to go pick up a kilo of weed, it's pretty safe, I guess, to do it on a bicycle. I think that's better. You're avoiding a lot more of the police, I think, that way. I'm not telling people how to move clocks or cannabis, but he was doing it correctly, I guess. And you guys know Bill Murray, right? So Bill Murray,
he's a good golfer.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show. I know Justin's a big fan of Bill Murray. Do you know he got busted for? Yeah, he's got his license plate he's pointing to up in his studio there that says BFM. What's that stand for?
According to the state of Nebraska, it's built for mud. But if you're a Chive fan, you know exactly what that means.
Oh, Bill Murray. Yep. So the 70s were kind of a different time back then. And Bill Murray's arrest for marijuana happened in 1970 on September 21st. It was his 20th birthday. Bill Murray's 20th birthday, he got in trouble. The then college student was boarding a plane at Chicago O'Hare Airport bound for Denver when Bill Murray intended to resume his pre-med studies at Regis College. He's pre-med, Bill Murray was. As a joke, while waiting in line, Murray whispered to his neighbor that he had 2 bombs in his bag. Bill Murray's making bomb jokes. Yeah, good stuff. Ticketing agents overheard that conversation, and they summoned the U.S. Marshals, who searched Bill Murray's belongings. Though they didn't find any explosives, the marshals did discover roughly 10 pounds of marijuana, worth more than $20,000 at the time and over $120,000 today, if it were on today's market. Pretty wild. Murray was spared jail time, 10 pounds of cannabis, and Bill Murray didn't go to jail. You got to wonder how that worked out, the conversation.
He's just been lucky his whole life.
I guess, man. Oh, we're wrapping it up, aren't we?
It's all that Army training.
All right, guys, that's been it. Bill Murray. It's been a great show, guys. We're going to catch you guys next week. Well, thanks for listening. Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios. We'll catch you next time.
You are listening to KKID Salem Rolla.